Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase, our marathon SpaceX Extreme journey where we are still building up our Gigabase potential to try and achieve, well, supposedly 60 UPS. And I haven't given up on this, it's still very much in mind, but also in mind is the fact that our science sort of is jumping between 3,000 and 4,500 per minute. We want it to, and it's climbing up. I've just restarted a science, so you'd tend to get that, but we're not doing our 5,000 science per minute regularly or even at all really. And we know that red circuits, I mean, that's running at its max. We know red circuits is one of the limiters. If we come here, some of these are not obvious to guess at, but for example, when you start getting specific components, red, silo fuel, sure, red, green, and that's could be related to iron. But we knew all along that red circuits was not sufficient, so today we're finally going to build the second red circuit stack. To that end, I have copied this. Watch everything plummet. Basically what I want to do is find a suitable place to put the red circuits, because you can't just put it anywhere. There's a lot of updates I need to do for you guys as well. We need to come down a bit so that I can see this a bit better. I was thinking I'd do the start here, but obviously, whoops, don't really need to see that. I was thinking I'd do the start up there, but I guess we don't really need to see the start when we're trying to plan where the whole thing goes, roughly. So let's get more into the middle part. And yeah, let's talk some updates as well. Obviously we've done a few things. There is no copper 8 at all anymore. I've removed it completely, and that's partly why we now have room for putting in another red stack. And that's one of the minor things really. A really interesting one was over here. You will notice we have far more accumulators than we do solar panels. And that is because I used to just have the stack inserters unloading, and our train that delivers the solar panels and the accumulators is a one train that delivered both. It is locked so that it is half and half. But the stack inserters would always choose the accumulators first, which still ought not to be a problem, except that because bots are dumb and lazy, they always take from here first, so these ones tend to get completely drained, and these ones tend to get overstuffed and can't take anymore. Which means over time you'd slowly get accumulators unloading and the solar panels not being able to, because there's not enough room left. Some always could, because these ones up here you always could get some. But to combat that, what I've done is I've added a little smart. We're using the green wire. This is a read train content, and this you can't see it because I'm in map mode, but if there are any solar panels at all on board, then I set the filter on these stack filter inserters, and now half of these are stack filter inserters. I set the filter to the solar panels, and otherwise it's set to whatever's in the train. So it'll always still use 4 stack inserters to unload the trains, but sometimes there'll be a locking of half of them to solar panels, and this is certainly helping stabilize the numbers over time. They should sort of balance, or maybe even favor solar panels, because I've set these up in such a way as these are the boxes that get drawn most heavily, so they tend to go straight up and down here and from a slight angle, and then it's from the other side, which is why the stack inserters are on this side of these collections. So that had been causing an issue. Another issue that I was sometimes getting is these SpaceX science boxes were loading up to 96k, and then there was no more room and they were still launching, so that is a bit of a problem. I tried one thing that didn't really work, so I've kind of ripped it out for the moment. We'll keep an eye on that, but if we are burning science at 6,000 per minute, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. So here's our science stack. You can tell yellow is missing from there, yellow's missing from there, yellow's missing from there, so we're down to crawling speed. We have yellow up there. So what is it that's missing in yellow? We are missing the speed modules there, and up here we are also missing the speed modules. Why are we missing speed modules? Speed module 1s, there's no red. And that's what's driving us to do our red now. A few other things we have done though in the meantime. This is iron. It still has this one here, which is now only 21 million, so it won't be for too much longer. But I've tidied up this platform. I've reduced the number of trains coming to it to 8, which might still be too many because it's only 41 million now. It's not 130 million. The 4 platforms instead of 6 platforms seems to be managing just fine, but we are still burning through that fairly quickly. I have then extended the 4-way. Oh, I don't know how I ended up with a station there. We'll have to get rid of that. But I've extended the 4-way up here and connected up iron 18 with just a 2 platform and 4 trains. This is where 3 trains. It needs a 4th. Actually, it's only 2 trains. It probably needs a couple more. I am finding that at times we were getting a shortage of iron trains, so that's partly what prompted building this. I have moved this closer, I've moved this one closer. This isn't going to last much longer. I also have found that the ore train to this bottom stack seems to sometimes have difficulties sort of getting here. It prioritizes the closer ones. So I have created, where is it? By putting in a chain signal here and moving the exit from this part of the stack to this middle part, it will exit through here instead of crossing the line. We can fit a 383 in here, so we can sometimes get a 383 to sit there so that when this ore train departs, another one is already here and we're not waiting forever to get an ore train to come all the way down. I'm not sure why none of them want to go down here just yet, but yeah. I mean, the only other thing I could do is use this on the ore trains, but I kind of don't really want to do that. But that would be a way to kind of force them down here. See, it's happy to go here. And when that's crossed, it'll probably be one that's happy to come down here. But coming down here is a lot harder to get a train to do. Because really there's no reason why one couldn't be coming down then. It might just be that they're so overloaded and we're watching everything in slow motion because we're almost at half speed, would you believe? Half speed. But there should really be another one coming straight. Ooh, and there you go. So we are getting one now. So that's kind of what I wanted. But you notice also there's holes here where we could have trains filling up. So that implies we really should have more down here. I actually added 2 already to all of these stacks, but maybe there's room for more. But anyway, that's beside the point. What we want to do is focus on, we don't want to be on map view, we want to be in Crazy and Vinny Zoom and see roughly where So I haven't included the actual connections to the main line, because I want to see. Actually, that's probably a fairly good place for it to come out. If we go in there, there's room in this sort of segment along here. So if I go to map view, yeah, so we're getting them basically up here. I mean, it certainly could be worse, but one up here, there's a that kind of stops this being a stop at all, which could be an issue. Well, the other location could be roughly head to where I am. So instead of coming in up here, we could be coming in down here. If we did that, I'd have to be lower down. I have no idea where I am, but it's nice to see that I can progress. I'm probably in the trees somewhere. Yep. Just make sure I'm not firing nukes. Drill a hole through here. I mean, this is probably the hardest part of placing red, is let's just get back to about the same zoom we were on. I could put it in there. Or at the low end of that. Whatever I do up here, I'm going to ruin the room for a 383 to fit. If it's here, would there be room for a 383 between here? I'm not sure. I think the one I like best is we'll ruin this one as far as having enough room, and if need be I can always move this. That's probably the best way of doing it. Alright, let's zoom on out till I can see myself a more sensible size. I know we've almost used half an episode and we've done very little except recap. Putting in these reds will certainly help, and it will certainly help identify for us as well what else it is that we need to do. They do stop here quite often, which means that taking this out is going to be a little bit problematic, but we have no choice really. Let us get rid of all of the signals in that selection of 3, so that we can get our good rail. And theoretically, if I line up this 4x2, in here, except we are going to obviously have to change these to this other sort of signal, and I'll look up here for my advanced warning of train information, and there's 64. So let's carry on with 65. Yeah, we probably are going to have to do something about these exit signals as well. just remove those two. This will probably be an issue, a point of congestion. Anyway, I've been getting some attacks up here, so I added in a couple of lasers. At least they're attacking here rather than more annoyingly in here. But obviously we need to do some more work, so that's another thing that I have done between times. And there, I actually also added a, let's just go back to researches, a artillery shell range. So I did 5, so 6 is now 250,000. I may even do a little bit more because the biters are being annoying as our pollution cloud continues to expand. Right, so what I want to do is place that sort of like this. Ugh. No, I want to go about there is something there, isn't there? Let me just take a peek what it looks like up here. Right. Not actually sure what I'm looking at. Maybe that looks about right. Let's just see. Did it connect? Not quite in the way I anticipated, but close enough. Yeah, that's not going to work. That might. Okay, so this is our engineering station here. This will be RC2. We have, well, hashtag RC2, like that. Whoops, not dollars, hashtag RC2 for our second red circuit stack, and with a bit of luck we have enough rail. No. So never mind, let's go down to the engineering train. Obviously what I want to do is set up the supply stop and then get the supply train to come and deliver everything. And then we'll run down and build the connections into the main trunk. You need to go to manual because we won't be able to do this otherwise. Good. Keep going. That's it. And up here. Perfect so far. Rail, please. And down into RC2. Excellent. Now, obviously, I cleared out my excess, well, some of my excess blueprints. Let's get rid of a bunch of these trees because we'll shortly, whoops, I'm still on the train. We'll shortly have a rubbish train. You can be rubbish. you can be outpost supply. Hopefully you don't have anything hooked up already. Probably missing a few vital things. Possibly a constant combinator. Shouldn't be. I have a constant combinator on me. It's off, so that's the main thing. You are outpost supply. Now let's fix up here. That should be everything there. Minus this one bit of wire. Red and green. Sweet. Now, we have power, don't we? Actually, how is power going? We haven't had a blackout, but I am a little bit concerned. 31 gigawatts. Oh, that's because we're using both sources. I am concerned we may actually, look how close the accumulators have gone to, and we're needing to add more stuff. I may in fact need to build some more solar, which is also going to get in the way of keeping science at 60 or 6,000 new science per minute. But we have to do what we have to do. Alright, auto trash. Let's just put all of that in there so that we can dump that lot in there. Now, are you all here? Hopefully. We're going to need a, say, let's get a couple of hundred of those. I don't really care about the construction bots because I think I will build this myself, but I will get the track, most of it. Most things I'll round up, so the modules will get 4,000. Well, hang on, was that 3.9? Yeah. We'll get 2,000 beacons. And that will have to wait. We will get 1,300 productivity modules. Oops. And now we have exact numbers, but I'll overshoot them anyway because the supply train can round down. 800, 640, say, which I'll do with everything. Everything that we order, 450. 320, say. Maybe just get 300. I've got plenty of those actually. Let's just get the 280. So I've got 50 here, and I don't use them that often. 180 of those. 140 roboports. Got 140 substations. And everything that we don't use gets recycled, so it's not really an issue. Um, 90 medium poles, say. I'll get 70 signals. The accumulator combinators. I'll get... actually, I might get a stack of arithmetics, and we'll just get 30 decider combinators. I always seem to have a few too many of them. And we've actually run out. What else do we need? Boxes, stations... La 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 la. Alright, never mind. I can always chain these guys together to order the rest, but that should do. Has that gone out? Yes, it has. Let's deal with this while we wait. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find. Yeah, it's kind of short on medium poles, so this exercise is not being as useful as it's supposed to be, because maybe if we grab those poles so that we can reuse them, we'll get more life out of it. Kind of like to absorb that one, but I guess we can instead... Oh, there is a pole there. So we could do that. Hopefully that's enough to tell it to shut up. There we go. Okay, so in the meantime we are picking up track. Alright, what we need to do is run all the way down to where the other parts of the actually I need more signals. These won't do. I've got none of the chain signals. Like this. Do we have power issues or something? No, that's filling right up. I need to cut down those steam engines. That will actually help us achieve our targets. Although I can't help but think cutting back steam engines by itself isn't going to do that much. Right, so where is our ghost down here? I think it's below this part, isn't it? Somewhere in here. There we go. So, if we were to put one of these in, it should align perfectly. Yeah, it should be perfect. Why are you not perfect? What about the next one? Also not perfect. Okay, well, I don't think either of these are that hard to force to be perfect. So I think I will start with this guy. Let's correct this part. Now, actually what I might do is just take those guys out. Oh, I've lost 4 bots. Never mind. Take those guys out for the moment. So what I could easily do is just chop this off and make it come down here. There's no particular reason why that's going to cause me any issue. And that is what I'm going to do because I want this to all align nicely. Bots back in, thanks. 2. And now we need the corner, which doesn't work quite as nicely as I wanted, but never mind. I don't use this wire coming in anyway, but we do use the power, so let's connect it up. We use it for a radar, and we know how important radars are, so let's get that in there. Now, this connection here, oops, let's go back until we find our 4 to 2. There we go. It's just below as well, but these 3 again look like being the prime targets. So let's do that. And we can just run this slightly further down. Now I'm not really sure if I still use this mechanism. I probably don't actually. Can we fit a straight section in there? Or have we gone too far? Obviously we've gone too far, that's fine though. Do this manually. Did that a little bit too soon. Just get rid of the corner there. Maybe if we do that. Now, I'm not entirely sure what these things are doing. What are they doing? Yeah, not sure. Okay, bots, come back to me. Let's check on the supply train's progress. Looks like at least something has been delivered, or it's on the way, or some such. We certainly have something in here. We're missing actually some of the rather least important of our collections, so I guess maybe, or do we have bots in there? We do. Need to find one of these that has some bots. You've got 12, that's a good start. Because with a bit of luck, that will actually get the rest of them out so that they can do useful things like supply us. The first order of business, I think, is actually going to be to do some tree clearance. Here we go. Supply train back with more. I'll keep those. That will do. And though it will slow everything down even more, I will put the extra charge back on, and so now we can just get rid of this ridiculous array of trees. And I think that comes to the end. I don't know how long it's all going to take, probably way too long, but we'll speed up quite a bit of that, well, most of that. So thanks for joining me. We look forward to seeing you next time when hopefully I've got the red circuit underway, and we'll see what that does to our science speed, which at the moment looks like it's basically 3K per minute. So we've been going at half speed, but it's not surprising when you produce 30K and you keep burning at a faster rate. So hopefully this will sort that issue out. Next time, in addition to, well, we'll get the red circuits underway, but I'm probably going to have to do defensive maneuvers to get rid of all of these biters. Anyway, looking forward to it. See you then, guys. Bye bye for now.